So Ahsoka Season 2 has wrapped, and we've had some really fun updates over the last few days. And after a photo by Natasha Liu-Bordisso, which we are going to return to in just a bit, Ivana Sakno now confirms that filming is done, and they all are seemingly leaving the UK. Their work here is done. Now I feel like we've been talking a bit too much about the Force users in the show, but I'd like to highlight a couple of awesome leaks that we missed that concern the droids. A photo has emerged that was originally shown at Celebration in Japan, and is probably one of the most badass concepts to date. May the Maker help us all, because Chopper has been given a blaster. This fan favourite C1 is not the cute and innocent astromech he likes to pretend. He is one of the franchise's greatest war criminals, with over 50,000 kills to date, and that's about to get significantly higher. And he's not the only droid that's about to go rogue. Professor Hu Yang is about to become General Hu Yang. There is a leaked concept where he has to defend Ahsoka's T6 from Shin Hati, fighting with numerous lightsabers. A lot to look forward to. And the big question the last 24 hours has been, when is Ahsoka going to release? I've always heard late 2026, similar to when the first season dropped in 2023. But I think Lucasfilm wants it to come after the Mandalorian movie because they don't want anything interrupting or overlapping with the marketing for the film. That being said, I've seen a couple of the big Twitter outlets, the big Star Wars Twitter pages say May the 4th, so on Star Wars Day of next year. Now I don't know if they've heard something, or if that's just speculation, but to me that sounds wrong. Why would they want to release a Mandoverse show 23 days before the Mando movie? There would be too much of an overlap. Unless they want cross-promotion synergy between Disney Plus and the big screen. They did this in 2019. The Mandalorian Episode 7 overlapped with the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker. That was a deliberate choice, but I'll be honest with you, in 2026 where Star Wars is going to be in a very different position, Lucasfilm needs to give each project room to breathe, a separate fighting chance. And Ahsoka Season 2 is the final season of the show, with Anakin's ghost being a big pull I imagine in the marketing, and both projects respectively marking important milestones. They're both set after Episode 6, they both vaguely deal with the same period of time, and considering I think Zebarelios features in both, I don't think there's going to be any intersection. From what I've been told, The Mandalorian and Grogu takes place just before Ahsoka Season 2, so it would make sense the movie comes first. If Lucasfilm did want some kind of convergence in terms of release dates, I'd predict it'd be Maul Shadow Lord. If there's something coming out on May 4th, my prediction is the Maul show. I think that's separate enough. So to get into the spirit of the Star Wars season, whether it's May the 4th or May the 25th, what some fans call the original Star Wars Day, then I can see Maul Shadow Lord coming first, and some of those episodes being a kind of appetizer. But Ahsoka Season 2 needs to stand on its own. Watch it have an enormous marketing push, but not until late 2026, either the fall or the winter. And that way, Ahsoka holds us over to the next Star Wars movie. It's right in the middle of Mando and Grogu and Star Wars Starfighter. And because 2027 is the next Star Wars celebration, that's where the next batch of Star Wars projects is going to be announced, what the 2028 movie is going to be, and if they decide to do more live-action shows on Disney+. What is the streaming platform going to be going forward? Is it just going to be for animation, or are they going to do a new batch of shows? But returning to Ahsoka Season 2, I want to return to the photo we analysed yesterday. Now as you know, this is from Natasha Liu-Bordisso's Instagram. It was taken on the last day of filming, and we see Sabine and Ahsoka's shadows. And it's interesting because fans have had different interpretations of what the two actresses are doing in this photo. Because we can't see their costumes, it's impossible to know what's in their hands. They both look like they're holding something. Could it be their lightsabers? Is one of them holding Ahsoka's staff, the staff we expected to get this season? But then I gave it another look, and it dawned on me that their hand positions look very familiar. Intentionally or not, they are mimicking the hand gestures of the Mortis gods from the mural. Sabine is raising her hand like the father, and Ahsoka has her fist out, if that is indeed her hand, and not some kind of saber or staff. This could just be coincidence. They could just be giving a thumbs up or waving, but it does seem to match the Mortis mural. A part of me thinks we're just looking for symbolism in a simple photo, but then again we know the ones are a big part of the Peridea subplot, so it could be deliberate. I guess the question is, why is Ahsoka not on the side of the daughter? Again, it could just be an end of shoot, behind the scenes set photo with no significance. But also keep in mind this is a photo of their backs, so they're actually facing the other way. And with this in mind, Ahsoka does look like she's doing a similar pose to the daughter, at least if you compare it to the mural from Rebels. the statue of the daughter on Peridea has been erased, and I think this is deliberately symbolic. Ahsoka is about to take the place of the daughter. I think Anakin's going to be the father. Don't worry, not Sabine. I've seen some people compare this to the meme from The Last of Us.
I'm gonna be a dad.
While I don't know the role she's going to play on Peridea, it's worth remembering that she was part of the World Between Worlds arc in Star Wars Rebels Season 4. In the episode Wolves and a Door, she helped Ezra gain access. She doesn't seem like the most obvious character to have any role in this, but she's now been confirmed to be Force sensitive, and she's stuck with Ahsoka in the Second Galaxy, so you never know. And some fans wonder if it was the best decision to have Sabine stay with Ahsoka. Should she have returned home with Ezra and been part of the New Republic's fight? I do have my gripes with Sabine as a Jedi, but I'm also curious as to what Dave has planned. This person says, having Sabine being part of the World Between Worlds and Mortis stuff over Ezra would be pretty weird. I think the reason Dave gave, and you're going to see this in episode 1, where apparently there is a big fight scene, is the New Republic needs a Jedi. The obvious choice would have been Luke, but in terms of the Rebels characters, it's Ezra. And there's also a poetry to the fact that Sabine and Ezra swap positions, that Sabine was desperate to get Ezra home, and now she's stuck. And so one final Mandoverse update. I did warn you guys that we're probably not going to return to Tatooine anytime soon. I don't think Boba Fett is in the cards for quite a while, and the same applies to Cobb Vanth. And now Timothy Olyphant kind of confirms that he's not involved. Just like Tamara Morrison, he is urging Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to bring his character back, and says, quote, "I'm guilty of sending Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni a text that just said a reminder, neither me or Cobb Vanth is dead. Just a friendly reminder, it's been 1,360 days since people have seen Cobb Vanth. Resting in the Bacta tank, he is going to return at some point, but not in the Mandalorian and Grogu. And usually I'd give the caveats that actors play coy, but this is very specific. I just hope they haven't forgotten." And so now, my dear friends, moving away from Ahsoka, we need to talk about John Boyega, someone who's been very vocal and controversial since the sequel trilogy came to an end. He's come out and said quite a few things over the last few years. He felt like Finn was sidelined, and he's expressed his frustrations that we never got to see his character as a Jedi. That being said, we have heard from several people that he is going to return as Finn in the Simon Kinberg trilogy. But the drama continues, because in a new interview, he's decided to badmouth the sequel trilogy like never before. He really digs in, and I do have to say, fans are confused about this, because if he is going to be involved in an upcoming project, why is he badmouthing Disney for one? And secondly, he's very late to this conversation. Why is he saying this now? He says he wouldn't have gotten rid of Han Solo or Luke, and then he rattles on and on about the value of the Old Republic, the Force Unleashed games, and we do know he's a gamer and a big Star Wars fan, but it is confusing why he's saying all of these things now, because as recently as a year or two ago, he did still have his gripes with episodes 8 and 9 specifically, but he wasn't this blunt. So does he know he's not coming back, in spite of all of the rumours? And it makes me wonder if there's been a shift in the original names behind certain projects. For instance, as the Rey movie's gone through several writers at this stage, is it possible that Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is no longer the director? There's a lot Lucasfilm's not telling us, but Sharmeen is a name I've not heard in a long time. But those are all of today's Star Wars updates, my dear friends. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you had fun. And if you enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and may the Force be with you, always.